got our turnovers under control. 8 turnovers is too many in the first half. I think got some fast break opportunities off of that. But I think, our defense in the second half and our ability to get out and run as a result was big. And just making sure we come down and get a good shot. They very aggressive defensively, do a lot of switching, they hard hedge. So you have to be able to adjust to that. Keep your dribble, drive the ball, play in traffic, and our guys did that.
Was that one of your better halves of the season, that second?
Yeah, I mean, we scored 47. I think that's a fair point. We moved it, we shared it. We got into the bonus relatively early. We didn't turn it over. Yeah, I think, and it was a lot of guys that had to go ahead and make plays more so than anything we were drawing up. It was just guys making plays, and I think they were comfortable doing that, and I want them to be comfortable doing that.
On top of that, just seems like they were very comfortable feeding the hot hand. Tony got going early, Phillip got going late. I mean, Peyton obviously took over at the end. It's kind of rare that you see guys that are very hot early just start past the ball, the guy who just continues to hit the hot hand down the stretch.
Yeah, the thing about Peyton is he moves so well without the ball. He's easy to find. Tony's pretty good too in that area. But that's what an unselfish team does. They move it and they make sure they load the guys up that are cooking. And you're coming down the stretch, Peyton's cooking like that. You got to find him, and then you can play off of him. Chris had an isolation, he took it and scored. He got fouled. There's a lot of other things you can do.
It seems like, from where I sit, that Rebracha's game continues to expand. Is that a fair statement?
It is. I think you look at 20 and 10, it's easy to look at that and say, boy, that's spectacular. But, 4 assists. He had a couple goofy turnovers in the first half when they were doubling him, but in the second half, he was pretty much flawless.
Peyton and Phillip, they're not the most improved players in the Big Ten. They are 2 of the most improved players in the conference. Were you A, expecting their improvement in this way, and B, them to feed so well off each other?
Yeah, I think we could see it coming. Phillip, you knew it was going to happen because he had done it before. He just needed to do it in this league. Peyton, you could see it coming towards the end. We went to him in the Big Ten championship game. When you're running plays for a guy in a championship game, that tells you, A, what the coach thinks, but more importantly, what he expects of himself. So he was somebody I think we all knew, and he had a great summer and a great fall, and it's fun to watch him.
Fran, you have a very veteran team, but I go back to the Indiana game. People pointed to Peyton Sanford kind of rallying the guys and getting them amped up. I mean, Peyton, for being a true sophomore, has not been afraid to step up in the leadership role. Is that something you can instill, or has he just kind of always had that sort of leadership?
I think he always had it. I mean, he obviously had it in high school. They had a state championship team, and he's been a leader on that team. So he's kind of done it before. But last year, it was Connor, J-Bo, Keegan. So he knew this year, okay, with those guys, there's still Connor, Chris and him, and nobody's ego is that out of joint. Everybody can step up and say what they need to say.
I don't know if you spoke to rebounding. I mean, you did really well on the boards tonight.
And you have to, because you don't want to give them second and third shot opportunities. I mean, who's going to take most of the shots, right? It's going to be Bowie and Audige. You got to make it hard for them, and you don't give them a second. In the first half, we didn't come up with a few rebounds we could have, and they got a couple bunnies near the basket. They got kick out 3, but in the second half, I thought we really locked in, and for the most part, limited them to 1 shot.
Coach, it's never easy to play 2 games in 3 days, especially in a conference like the Big Ten. What does it mean to get 2 wins there going forward to Illinois on Saturday?
Well, it's 2 wins against 2 really good teams, two teams that are in the leaders in the country in defense. So the fact that we're able to execute the way we did, was very impressive. I thought yesterday, we didn't do a lot physically, but we did a lot mentally, and the guys were locked in. So that shows a maturity that you need. And now we can get a day off and then start grinding for Illinois.
it's one thing to have an emotional night. It's another thing to have an emotional night that should have taken place, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But, with the Street family here honoring Iowa legend, I mean, what does it mean for you guys just to be able to, just and kind of embody the spirit of Chris Street in this game and to be able to deliver a win?
Well, it's very important to me, but it's very important to this program. And it's bigger than this team. Anybody that wore that jersey before takes great pride. And there was no greater example than Chris Street of what an athlete should be, what a teammate should be, what a competitor should be. And the connection that remains with his family and our program is so important to all of us. And after the game, Mike and Patty came into the locker room. I didn't address the team, Mike did. So I thought it was important that he do that. He had some really poignant things to say. And I told him we'll see him Saturday, because he'll be back Saturday.
Chris only had one basket, I believe, in the second half, still scored 47. You look down 5 guys in double figures. How proud are you of the balance scoring that the team displays tonight?
Yeah, they were really locked into it. They were all over him the whole game. So I think you look and you see, 16 and 8, that's impressive. But the thing about him is, he's not going to hunt shots. He's not going to be selfish. And then, late he recognizes he's got the matchup he wants. He takes the 5-man. So it says a lot about him.